Well, it's been a few weeks. I took a couple weeks off just to deal with some personal stuff. Uh, I try not to, but I got to take care of myself first, obviously. Um, but I'm happy to be back. I might be a little rusty today, as I have been in the past after a brief break, which is making me a little nervous because I kind of wanted to go back to the Nightmare Frontier tonight, which we visited briefly. If you recall, we passed through. I think this was the first time we visited Bergenworth. We then took a brief foray into a different area, which led us to the Bergenworth Lecture Hall, which is a part of Bergenworth that had been set adrift in the Nightmare, if the lore entries are to be believed. And then that spat us out into the Nightmare Frontier. And we spent just a brief amount of time messing around over there. I think I called it at I think that was the last thing we did for one of these episodes. The reason I say I'm nervous is because if you do recall that episode, something you might remember about the Nightmare Frontier is that it is one of, I think, two. It is one of a very small number of so-called mandatory PvP areas in Bloodborne. So I'll re-explain what that means later, but basically, normally in the past when I've played Bloodborne, I have played in offline mode, which kind of opts you out of any of the PvP elements, but unless it becomes like really annoying, I might switch back to offline if it becomes really annoying, basically. But I did want to at least leave the door open for some of that, because it is part of the Bloodborne experience. So if we do have a run-in with an invader, I at least want to leave the opportunity for some of that to happen. I'll leave the door open for that. So that's the thinking there. Again, historically, I should say I'm not a very good PvP player. Something about it's one thing to fight enemies who have kind of like their limited scripted move set. It's another thing entirely to deal with another human being. So historically, I have not been. I don't really play a ton of PvP games at all. So maybe that's part of it. I just get easily flustered by the spontaneity of player versus player combat. I think it'll, one way or another, I think it'll be fun to at least again possibly have some of that be a part of this series. But that is why I'm a little nervous about the Nightmare Frontier. All that said, let's get started here. I also, just while I was booting the game up today, you might remember in last episode, in the Hunter's Nightmare, I was kind of like messing around trying to fight that one guy, the guy with the minigun in the dark, with the torch in my left hand. There actually is a slightly better way to do stuff like that, which is using the hand lantern. It's not as bright as the torch, but it does let you have access to a left-hand weapon and still have some light in really dark areas like that. I hadn't bought the hand lantern before then, just because there aren't really a ton of areas in the game where you really need that light source. But I did buy it just now for when we go back there. I try not to do anything in between these episodes, just because I do want I mean, like I've said before, the whole point of all of this series is to put as much of the game on screen as possible. So that's why I call that out specifically. Let me have a drink. All right, here we go. One of the scary things about the Nightmare Frontier is that you can be invaded basically as soon as you set foot in the Nightmare Frontier. Another reason I wanted to spend those or make that purchase before coming out here was because I just wanted to get bell ringing ones. So I should say this goes back to something I said about the bell maidens or chime maidens or whatever they're called. The like weird witches who like re-summon all of the one moment. The weird witch people who or women who summon the who like re-summon those bloody townsfolk in Yaragul also kind of like operate on a, they seemingly use, yeah, see there's the Chime Maiden, seemingly use bells to do that summoning. Ooh, oh. The mandatory PvP, such as it is, also functions on basically the same premise, which is as long as that bell ringing woman is over there, as long as that bell ringing woman is over there, she will be summoning, and that is how you end the torment. Basically, is you have to get to her and kill her, and that will free you from PvP. So unfortunately I do have to remember how to get to her, so that'll be its own challenge. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Okay. Ooh, god damn. Okay, alright. We're staying calm and collected. Oh, no we're not. Okay, get me the hell out of here, actually. Why am I over here? Okay. Got rid of him, at least. There's a whole gauntlet. I'm not sure how obvious it was in the craziness just now, but there's like a whole bunch of these rock throwing giants. You can see one of them right there. There's another one over there. Am I going the right way to get to the bell ringing woman? Or did I miss a turn somewhere in here? Because I thought I could totally be misremembering, but I thought, no, you do have to go all the way around, don't you? Okay, never mind. So yeah, this is the challenge, is like the whole time she's alive, you could get invaded. But also there's like a bunch of bullshit in the way, so it's just dealing with all that. Okay. Got you. Let's heal and run. And we'll pause here. And run. Oh, that was not the right way. And now we're in the poison swamp. And we are going to, yes. We're going to reawaken. Because I don't want to deal with it. Okay. Okay. It's gonna be a little bit of a process to remember the path here. And she's ringing that bell. She loves ringing the bell. Oh. Ouch. Okay, well, that could have been better. All around, that just could have been better. Ooh. Well. Alright, well. Yeah, the other kind of brutal thing about the Nightmare Frontier is there's not a whole lot of I mean, this is something that I think is mostly true across all of the kind of like extra planar areas or whatever, but there's just not a whole lot of or rather the enemies don't drop blood vials all that often. They're much more likely to drop like blood gems and stuff, which can make it tough. It can make it kind of tough to do repeated runs through these areas. If you recall, oh, didn't see this guy last time. Oh, no, come on. There's tons of these little booger men here in the frontier. I think that's another thing that's mostly true across all of the nightmare areas. So, you know, Hunter's Nightmare, now Nightmare Frontier. There's like one other big nightmare area that we haven't gotten to yet. Come on. Ooh. There we go. And we rallied, awesome. But yeah, not a ton of blood vial drops from enemies. Lots of blood gems. Ooh. Okay. Don't love that. There we go. Did not rally from that though. Okay. Okay, now where am I trying to go over here? Let's try to nail down the route. Ooh. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what I did wrong. Can I just run past him? Is that gonna happen? Maybe. Oh, he is gonna try his hardest to get me, huh? Oof. Okay. I think I can, though. I think I can just run past them. That'll be easier, I think, than trying to fight my way straight up the whole way up there. No invaders so far, so that's nice. I don't remember if this bell ringing woman respawns. I think she does, but I don't remember, honestly. I like the design on these weird, I mean, they're kind of reminiscent to some of the beasts in Central Yarnum, but like obviously distinctly different, and they also have a bunch of weird magical powers going on. I just, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that in Blood, it's just like fun to think about like what the relationship between, ow. Did not rally from that. Okay. Just fun to think about like what the relationship is between. Let's go. Let's stop off. Between some of the beasts in Central Yarn, specifically, there's like those beasts that they're not quite the full like wolfy ones, you know, but they. Okay, come on. Ooh, come on. There we go. Got a little bit of rally. Okay. Alright, now let's get our ass up this hill. Where am I going? Here we go. Where are we? Am I still being followed? No, okay. Where? Oh, I think we got a, here, what's this say? Nothing but small ladies here, therefore you must accept wrath. Okay. Yeah, there we go. We walk to the edge of that and that breaks, and now we have a shortcut up here. Wonderful. I think this is where we go. Why do I feel like there's a trap or something over here? We did face a couple NPC hunters here before. If you watched that episode, pretty formidable. Nothing like you know, obviously actual players, but still, that's got me out a little bit. That's also something I have my eye out for right now, is hoping not to run into any more NPC. So like wait, is this not where? Oh, let me actually try to get the visceral on this guy if I can. There we go. See ya. Where in the heck is the bell ringing woman? Okay, clockwise man. Oh, we do also need to take another look at our what on earth was that? Oh, it was, okay, got it. We're on the other side of the ravine from, yeah, okay. I really thought the bell ringing one was, so she is like on the other side of a wall. She's like right around here. Anyway. Yeah, we got some shiny coins over there. Wonder what that could be. Is she actually up here somewhere? Did I just miss the path? That's where we were a moment ago. Okay. Yeah, this whole area is like not that big, but I at least I personally find it so confusing to navigate that I feel like this has happened every time I've gotten here. Is like I'm just like, okay, where do I need to be going right now? What's going on? Notes: beware of scoundrel. Sure. Always. Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah. Thought I could get a little closer before this happened, but... yeah. That's our old pal. Our old pal, Patches. The gift of the Godhead. Cometh. Let me find a little patch of ground to post up on for a second. Here we go. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's pop some poison. What do I have for poison? White Church is 21. Yeah, let's pop that on. 60, 63. Oh, you're coming for me, aren't you? Okay, you want some? You really want some? Okay, come on. Why does it have to be like this? Ooh, oh, ow. All right. Okay, can I put my pants on? Can I put my freaking pants on? There we go. Ay, okay. That should put us in a better position. Okay. Thick gold blood, great. Okay, view notes. Oh, safe place. Yeah, okay. All right. So we're down in the bad place now. Patches, you know, if you've played any of these games before, you pretty much know what Patches' whole deal is. He pushes you down into a place that's bad. He waits for you to walk near an edge, and then he pushes you down into a place, and that place invariably is bad. So that's where we are now. That's what's happening. Okay, let's stop off. We're just gonna burn through some. We're gonna burn through some vials, exploring this little area. I don't really think there's any way around that. We're just gonna do it. Ooh, okay. The red, that red meter there is fast poison, and I can deal with some slow poison. I really don't want to have fast poison though. Oh god, okay. Oop, nope. Heal. Okay, there we go. We got the little ones. We got these two separated. All right. Okay. Down to one. Good. Okay, there we go. That's how you do it. Okay, anything else around here? I don't think so. We just got this. Oh, this is, yeah, this is a really bad place. This is a really bad place, I remember where we are now. Oh god, nope. Nope, nope, don't want to deal with it. Nope, bye. Oh boy. Ooh. Tried to heal. I tried to heal. He got me. Wow, he got me real fast. I forgot how bad that guy is. That is an enemy that we will have to deal with. That's one of the worst late game enemies. God, what are they called? They're like, it's winter something. God, what? I bet Emily or Clem know or remember what it is. Basically, if you missed what was happening there, as soon as that enemy started looking at me, I started getting very rapid frenzy buildup. And thank God for this little shortcut. Very rapid frenzy buildup, and I was below, I think it's like a 60 or 70% of your hit points that frenzy deals. I was below that threshold when it capped out, and I died. So that's what happened there. I probably will not. Is he still up there? He is. Okay. Here's what I have to say about this. Fuck off. Was this the path? No. I am really struggling to remember the path to the bell ringing woman. I thought it was over here. It's possible I'm wrong about that. This is, I mean, I already said it. This is what I mean when I say, like, this level is not that big, but it's so, like, everything about it is so weird and, like, circuitous about, like, how you actually get around to different parts of the level. Like, we've been, this whole time, we're like, circling basically the same little area, but because it's so, like, densely, you know, it wraps around in these, like, really dense routes or whatever, it makes it really difficult to tell where exactly you are and how to get from, you know, you'll spot places that you don't necessarily know how to get to until much later. Stuff like that. It's all a little frustrating. Let's go over here. Maybe it's over here. Stunning deep sea. go. Not so bad. Tons of hunter corpses in this area too, which is always, you know, fun. Always a little ominous sign that you're in a fucked up area. Right. Yeah, seriously, how in the hell do you get to the bell ringing woman? I don't think I can go back the way I came, so we'll probably just have to forge ahead here, but yeah, yep, okay. We can drop down from here into an unpoisoned section though, so let's do that. And get the side, oh, and get you. There we go. Monster Shard. Yeah, all these guys drop kind of low-level stuff. Antidote's awesome. We are getting perilously close to rock throwing range for this guy, though, I think. Okay, there we go. Get rid of those guys. I'm not sure if you're only actually at risk of being invaded when you can actually hear. Oh, is this it right here? Oh my god. Yep, this is it right here. There we go. Got her. Okay. Sinister bell has ceased. Yay. We did it. Okay, so this is why I remembered it being like so much sooner, is because you have to keep running forward. Got it. Okay. Madman's knowledge. Sure. Love it. Oh. Who's snarling? Oh, it's the guy directly below me. Okay. What's up here? Let's just do a little exploring now that we know how to kill the bell ringing woman. I think I have to jump for this. Let's do that. A little item. Fading Lake. Hey, what's this note? Thrust attack effective. Against what? Oh, okay. I don't know what that's for. Okay, looking up from up here, pull out the monocle, or monocular. We want to run over. I think there's a way up to this guy back here, somewhere over there. We'll grab some items over here. Hey, Emily. And then there's a cave somewhere over here that I think we want to get to. So that's where we're going next. I just killed the bell ringing woman in the Nightmare Frontier, so we're no longer at risk of being invaded, which is nice. I love to not be invaded. I'm just gonna run past all these guys because who needs them? Hey, Sawyer. Oh, is this not the way? Frenzy cold blood. All right. Over here somewhere, isn't it? Am I gonna have to? Ooh. Oh, he got me. I guess you have to go all the way around. Oh, God. All right, you know what? Fuck you. Oh, okay. Well, you can be over there then. Okay, we're almost done with this poison, so I'm not going to waste an antidote. Okay, good. Clear deep sea. Oh, no. Oh, I missed him. Lots of terrible, awful, disgusting noises happening. Thanks for the follows. What is it? Sivart? Alright, let's get this guy. Uh-oh. Am I being bombarded? I sure... Oh, no, he can't reach over here. Okay, cool. Oh, so yeah, this is the white clerics, or what is it? The white church attire, which is good against poison, which is nice because you see all this green crap here on the ground. That's all poison. All that green stuff. You'll note there's a fair amount of it. Oh, I can. You've joined just in time for me to do one of the most. Hold on. Okay, all right. One of the most. So you know, if you're familiar with. Okay. Oh god, I hate these guys. If you're familiar at all with FromSoft's oeuvre, you'll probably already know that you know, poison swamps are just an absolutely massive part of their, you know, standard kind of menu of. Hold on. Can I do it? Can I get him before he gets me? Yep. Okay, cool. You know, standard issue area type for FromSoft. Bloodborne actually doesn't have that many. I'm trying to think. Is this the only real poison swamp? Ooh, ooh, don't you do it. Sedative. Game audio is a little loud. Okay. Thank you for the feedback. Let me just mess with my filters a little bit and let's bring that down to, yeah, well, okay, I dropped it. Let's go a little bit more. Let's try right around there. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, this is a new shirt. This is my new lounging around the house shirt. What just happened was, oh, Emily, now that you're here, what are the name of the scary brains that kill you? It's winter something? I didn't want to stop the stream to look it up, but it's a good name. Brains that kill you, yeah. It's a brain that kills you, yeah, it's a brain that kills you. Long story short. So yeah, here's the kicker. So what I was saying before the brain that kills me killed me. See, I couldn't think of it either. So no shame. It is one of the better like enemy names in the game though. So I did want to try to recall it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so Bloodborne does not have an abundance of poison swamps, and kind of unusually, it doesn't like front load the game with any of them. So you can make it a fair way into this game and think like, oh, I guess they're just not going to do the poison swamp thing this time. And I don't think they actually do the poison swamp thing on the like critical path. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's correct. But then they put this gargantuan optional area. Oh, also, hold on. Does the bell ringing woman not come back? Oh, is she non-respawning? Oh, she's just gone. Okay, well, great. Anyway. I keep getting sidetracked. They put this huge optional area, which is the Nightmare Frontier. Oh, let me for Cam's benefit, let me also just mess around with my attire here real quick while I explain this. I'm not. Okay, I was hearing some spoopy noises for a second. So in Bloodborne, there's this idea that there's like, oh, my frenzy resistance is ridiculous. That's why they're killing me instantly. Okay. There's this idea, so there's like the waking world, which is the part of the, you know, the reality that you spend almost the entire game in. But then there's the dream, and there's a small corner of the dream that you inhabit for most of the game, or that you have access to for most of the game, called the Hunter's Dream. But then later in the game, you start getting access to these nightmare areas, and you know, the game doesn't totally clearly spell out what the relationship between the dream and the nightmares, the numerous nightmares that you encounter, what the relationship is between all those things. Well, okay, here I should probably stick with the White Church until I get across the swamp, huh? So, you know, that's, you know, it's up to you to connect the dots on all that. But the point being, you know, you find yourself in these nightmare areas later in the game, and, you know, they're not great. And that's where we are right now. We're in the Nightmare Frontier, which is an area that is kind of connected to... So there's like this magical school called Bergenworth. How's the sound doing also right now? If anyone wants to let me know if that was better. I tried not to overcorrect, so it might still be slightly high, but just let me know. Anywho, yeah, so there's this magical school, or like Eldritch school, still a little loud. Okay, let me just, I forgot that this game does not pause, so let me just point the camera towards where the squids are, and just crank that down a tiny bit more. Always nervous about overcorrecting on audio, because I know how easy it can be. Let's turn it down another 1.5 decibels and see how that does. Oop. No. There we go. Eldritch school called Bergenworth, and their lecture hall, you know, and seems like most of their student body got sucked into the nightmare at some point. No explanation for that, but you know, these things do happen. You know, you sign up for magic school, you know, you kind of just, you gotta expect something of this nature to happen, so it's kind of on them for signing up in the first place, you know. But you take one step outside of the lecture hall doors, and you end up in this awful nightmare frontier is what it's called. And I'll go ahead and say, of all the nightmares you visit, this is probably like the one that is most like raw in terms of like we've seen so the hunter's nightmare seems to be a place where mad hunters get sent when they can no longer do their grim work. They're so like drunk on blood that they just are killing everybody unstoppably, uncontrollably. They get sent to this nightmare prison. That is also kind of like, you know, there are raw elements to that, but you can still, I mean, it's enough of a shadow or mirror of Central Yarnum that you get the idea that you know, someone sane had something of a hand in crafting that space. That's the impression I've always had. One might argue the distinction between a dream and a nightmare is merely perception. Interesting. Anyway, oh wait, hold on. Before I do the exact same thing I just did, let me change into my frenzy gear. Anyway, we are in this nightmare, this raw. I want to say, you know, it's probably called Nightmare Frontier because to evoke a kind of like, you know, frontier kind of goes with like an untamed kind of space. You know, a space that like hasn't had, I mean, you know, it's just like the way that word is kind of used in in the vernacular, for better or worse, is like a place that, you know, as opposed to kind of a, so there's our guy, there's our brain that kills you. I can't remember if he is aggroed yet or like auto aggroed. No, he will turn around. Okay. Ooh. There we go. Okay. And stop off. Yep. Okay. That's the brain that kills you. That's the brain that kills you. Is there a way over there? Is that a place that I can go? I don't think so. Is it? Hold on. It looks like a place I can go, doesn't it? Let's not get too crazy here for a second. Anyway, yeah, if it hold on, let me see if I can get a little closer up. Yeah, this is, you know, peak Bloodborne, peak Yarnum fashion right here. This is about as good as it gets, right here. Anyway, we're in a nightmare. Oh, but where I was going before is, like, you spend most of the game not running into poison swamps, and you're like, you know, by this point in the game, we're kind of far into it at this point. You might start to think like, oh, I guess we're just not going to do poison swamps this time around. And then, ooh, and then you get here and it's like, oh, not only are we doing poison swamps, but, like, you know, you turn a corner and a brain that and you know, so what is actually happening there is that giant brain-headed person, when they're looking at me, they are causing my frenzy buildup to rapidly climb. And frenzy, I've said this before, frenzy is kind of like the madness condition in this game. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Frenzy is kind of the madness condition of this game, and so, like, you know, we can kind of infer, like, all right, what's happening there, where we are, something about this enemy is like, just like looking at us, observing us, is causing us to rapidly lose our minds, in such a way that we might die. So that's kind of what's happening there. If the frenzy buildup gets to 100%, that little bar builds all the way up. It causes, I think, about 60 or 70% of your hit points. It's not. Can you all hear that now that I turned the game audio down? Can you hear that? I might turn it back up for a moment just so you can hear it. You can hear it? Okay. That's them singing. If you hear that noise, that's one of those brains singing, and you know that one of them is nearby. It's very spooky. It's one of the spookier things in this game. Because, you know, if you hear that noise, you know at any moment your frenzy buildup could start rapidly climbing, and unless you're at full hit points, it might just straight up kill you. I actually don't remember where this one is. I think it's in the caves below, but I'm not sure. So that in the distance, that is like the first, like, built thing that we've encountered in this area. Other than these gravestones, or whatever they are, look artificial, but I think they're kind of just a natural feature of this place. I don't know. I don't know why I believe this. There's nothing in the lore that tells us this, but to me, they've always felt like they're just kind of a natural formation that's happening. As natural as anything in the nightmare. Can I... Oh, he's just gonna come straight for me, huh? Come on. Come on. Alright, get it out of your system. I was also saying earlier, like, I really like... Oh, you're still alive. Oh, he's gonna explode, and then I'm gonna smack him. That's how I do it. I really like these enemies, in large part because they, in a lot of ways, they kind of remind me of some of the beastly village townsfolk from the very beginning of the game. Obviously, there's like... obviously, they're very different in both in like their appearance and their movesets, and they have like very obvious. I mean, you just saw one of their like magical powers, basically. Ooh, I need to step on that. Yay! Another shortcut. But like, that's just one of the things in this game that I like thinking about. In the back of my mind is like, okay, we have two enemies that in some ways feel reminiscent. Ooh, I did not plug my computer in before I started streaming. One moment. So important to keep the flow of electricity going. Okay. Emily, I love how everything in the nightmare areas looks like you got there via transporter pod from the fly. Yep. Langoliers, yep. Oh my god, yes. They do look, they are Langolier headed for sure. Just to make this clear, this is like the very beginning of the level. I think the first time we visited this area, we came down here and saw this pit. Now we can just travel straight down there from here. Let's explore a little bit more, and then I might go back to the hunter's dream, because I think we're close to leveling up, and I don't want to finish this area out with or like go into the next spoiler alert, we're coming up on a boss, and I don't want to do it with a full level's worth of echoes. But yeah, I like thinking about like, okay, so what do we know? We know the blood that the Healing Church uses in their blood ministration seems to slowly transform people into beasts, or at least create the potential for a sudden beastly transformation. And we've seen what some of those beasts look like also. Can I get to it? Nope. Okay. And then we come into this nightmare and we see what appear to be beasts. They're not quite the beasts we're familiar with. But we see these creatures. Can I Skyrim my way up here? No. Okay. And what does that mean? What does that mean? What's the relationship between the nightmare and the creatures that inhabit the nightmare? And can I jump over there? And the beasts. I almost walked right off the edge. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, and I can walk over here. Great. I am very low on hit points. There we go. I want to say there's another brain over here somewhere in this cave. Oh my god, yeah, I know. You hate me. Get over it. This is where all my haters congregate. Down here in the swamp. I think that is the rapid poison thing that they do. Which again, like most FromSoft, or rather Souls games, there's two types of poisons. There's the slow poison and the I didn't care for that. Slow poison, not so bad. Fast poison is pretty bad. We don't want that. You're being censored. Oh, hold on. Did Automod catch something? No, it didn't. Wait, who's censoring you? I should not be standing still in the poison. Sorry. One moment. Ooh, oh, come on. Okay. Let me get out of the poison and then we'll sort this censorship issue out. Alright. My PCam's... Okay. I'm not seeing anything pop up in the Automod queue. For the record. That has been an issue, but I think Automod has learned its lesson. All right. Yeah, none of these enemies look. Yeah, we're in like the you know most nonsensical area, or one of in the game. There's one other. Basically the further you get into this game, the more nonsensical. Okay, hold on. I think I'm gonna need to switch to. The more nonsensical things get as the kind of, you know, the world starts to kind of fall apart a little bit. Yeah, I hear him. Where is he? I think there's the only reason I'm doing this is because I think there's another Carol rune down here that I want. Yeah, there he is. Okay, let's we've got our sedatives ready. There we go. Okay. There we go. That's how it's done. Okay, cool. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Of all the enemies in the game, those are the ones that make me the most nervous, in case that isn't obvious. Frenzy is just like, it's no joke. I thought there... Okay. Was that... For some reason, I thought there was a good rune down here. Might be remembering incorrectly, though. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong place. Oh. Disgusting. Kin Cold Blood. Okay, maybe that's what I'm remembering actually is a Kin Cold Blood. I mean, that's a shitload of echoes right there, so... I'm not going to complain about that. That makes this whole journey worth it, honestly. And that's... Wait, is this... No, we haven't been here yet either. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Maybe this could also be what I was remembering. Okay. There we go. Okay, great. I did remember correctly then. I didn't remember that Kin Cold Blood. Not gonna... Yeah, again. I think that's 20k right there. Which, that's a princely sum that we're walking out of this stupid swamp with, so... And now I'm all turned around again. Oh my god. Emily, Automod wants me to slap you on the wrist for a reason, misogyny. I can't believe our own Emily. I can't believe I've been friends with and looking forward to having on the stream, and out and out misogynist this whole time. Unbelievable. Hard to believe, but so important to, no matter, who it is, we have to hold each other, we have to hold each other to account for these things, Pride Month over. Jesus Christ. Okay, like I said, let's head back to the dream. What time is it actually right now? 8 o'clock. Okay, yeah, we should have time to take on the boss of this area. Oh, I think also, I'm pretty sure most of you missed when Patches the spider friggin' pushed me off the edge into the swamp. That little creepy crawly pushed me off the edge. You can believe that. Classic Patches move for sure. All right, where are we at?
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it you desire? Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close.
This is the doll.
Your eyes.
Who's gonna help us level up? God, strength is still so good for damage for me. That is wild. I feel like I've maybe I will get vitality and endurance up to 25. I feel like I'm doing good. I'm doing quite good on the damage front still. And the memory of wishing I had more hit points is still so fresh in my mind from that ROM fight. Let's go mess around with my runes a little bit. So I said before, I mentioned the Hunter's Dream. This is the Hunter's Dream. You can see, like, we're in this little garden right now, but if I look over the edge, oh, look at that. It's like endless weird nothingness and also these weird trees, or pillars or whatever they are. The implication so far in the game has been that this is a place created for the hunters to, question mark, hunt the beasts. And, who created it? It seems like some sort of moon entity. Who could say what that means? Oh, I have a better version of that. Stamina plus 10%. Let's just look at what we got, because it's been a while since we really looked. Blood Vial max, Quicksilver Bullet max, Visceral HP, more Blood Echoes, Arcane damage reduction 7%. Okay. Frenzy resistance plus 200. Slow poison. Oh, it's rapid poison, not fast poison. All resistance plus 100. Oh, Sawyer, you asked on the Discord about being Beast Boy, and I mentioned that there were some runes that also made the Beast Boy build kind of, effective. these beast runes are the runes that I was referring to. I think there might be one other that also affects beast transform. Basically, anytime we look at an item and see transformation or transform, it's referring to the Beast Boy build, basically. Beast Boy build, basically. Just remember your bees. What do I want? We're kind of past the worst of the frenzy stuff, but I'll have to keep this in mind. Let's put that in arcane for the time being, and we'll keep that stamina also. Okay. Okay, and how much do I need for another level?
Very well.
10, 13k.
Farewell, good hunter.
Yeah, okay. Let's not blow because I think the kin cold blood is 10k. How much is frenzied cold blood? 9 or 20? Oh, wait. I thought that. Maybe kin cold blood is only 10k. I'm not gonna use it right now, just in case. Okay, so I still need. How much is this one? 3k. And let's pop another one of these bad boys. That gets me pretty close, right?
Welcome. Very well.
Yep, right on the money. Perfect. Okay. All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Hunter.
Nightmare Frontier. I really thought the bell ringing woman respawned. I'm kind of glad that she doesn't, apparently. Also bodes well for the other area that I will get to eventually, the critical path area that has a similar kind of mechanic going on. Okay, and also now that that's gone, had some poison daggers on deck in case I got into a real tricky situation with another player. Poison daggers are kind of the coward's way out, but you know, sometimes you just gotta do it. You know what, Emily? Thank you for calling me in. You know, that's what friends are for, after all, right? Oh, the other thing I'm thinking about this because Cam called the Hunter's Nightmare Airbnb material. Oh, he got me. We also found there's a copy of that area in this might sound Cam reminiscent to a certain something in Elden Ring. You know, a weird interdimensional area that is mysteriously and somewhat inexplicably a copy or mirror or shadow of a place in the real or waking world. We found the real world copy in Yarnum of that Hunter's Nightmare workshop. So what's going on with that? Who could say? Amygdala is here. and we're happy. We're happy about that, right? All right, folks. Ooh. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, oh. Okay, no more banner call. You. Yuck. Oh, ooh. Okay, got the timing wrong on that one. This is one of those bosses that's just like kind of annoyingly large enough that you don't want to lock on actually. Because the lock-on point is like sometimes not in range of most of your weapons. Crap, I need to stay closer. Ooh, okay, not too bad. Lasers. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're doing okay. Stop off. He just ripped his own arms off. If that detail was lost on anyone. Just ripped his own arms off. I wouldn't have done it, but he did it. I might have left my own arms attached because you might need them. You never know when you're going to need them, so. Actually locked on, goddammit. Oop. Alright, we only need one more good combo. Let's see if I can get it. Oop. Okay, come on. Ooh, nope, don't step on me. Yeah, this is the problem, is his feet are not good. Ooh. Okay. Let's see if I can... Oh. Ooh, no. No. Oh, come on. Okay, I think I need to, oh, what's he doing? There it is. Man. He made me work for that last little bit, huh? Ailing Lauren Chalice. Yeah, so the only thing that this area is technically required for is if you want to do all of the Chalice dungeons in order to get to Ailing Lauren, you have to come through here, I believe. Emily, well, that's what Emily's saying, that if she was down to half her hit points, she would simply rip her arms off and you know? Again, not the direction I would go, but you gotta, on some level, you gotta respect it, I guess, so. Okay, we need a few more echoes to level up again. I think this ought to do it. Let's see.
Welcome. What is? Very well.
Now I feel a little more comfy, putting some more into strength. There we go.
Farewell, good. May you.
All right. Blood vial check. How many we got? 189. So yeah. Again, I've said this before, but like we're in the part of the game where I start coming out of areas holding fewer blood vials than I went into them with, which for me personally, this is like the stage of the game where that first starts happening. I think I had about 230 going into that, so we're down about 40 coming out of that area. So you by no means gotta arm it to them. Yep. Thanks so much, everybody, for I appreciate all of my chatters so much. All of your valuable contributions. The stream wouldn't be the same without you, honestly. We did pick up a few chunks in there, so let's just check on our oh, I do have enough chunks. I don't have enough echoes right now to upgrade Kirkhammer again, so let's go ahead and I'm only off by a couple hundred, so I probably only need a do that. We should check in on our yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Love those numbers. Love to see the number go up, am I right, folks? Okay. Oh, we do have some interesting things happening in our blood gem collection. At full, okay. Slow poison effect. So some of the gems do add like slow poisoning. They tend to not, unless you have multiple gems all adding to the same thing. I tend not, you know, I don't know that I've seen that really matter ultimately in my own experience. Yeah, let's slap one of these bad boys in there. Okay. Or you know, maybe there's a build you can do around some of that that would make some of that make sense, but you know, I don't know. It just never, it feels like it doesn't quite ever pan out in terms of like, you know, what are you attacking enough times that you're actually, you know, because the buildup doesn't do anything unless it actually unless you actually, you know, get it across the line or whatever, obviously. So you know, it's kind of down to like bosses or other players that you're actually going to be maybe affecting with that, and at that point it's just like, you know, is it really worth using up a whole blood gem slot just on that? I don't know, probably not, right? Okay, we're still good on that. Okay, that ought to do it. I honestly thought that was going to take longer. Let's head back. We don't have time for anything like too big right now, I don't think, but maybe we can take another quick dip into Upper Cathedral Ward, maybe. Actually, let me check the what's next on the schedule that I up until this point have really only had like a schedule in my brain and only a loose schedule at that. But as Emily and I were talking about when she might actually be able to, or like want to come on the show, I actually typed up a whole. Okay, next up on my like informal schedule that I sent Emily was Castle Canehurst. So maybe I'll hit up Castle Canehurst for a little bit. Don't think we'll. I don't know if we'll make it through the whole. Wait, actually, where? Here we go. I don't know if we'll make it through the whole castle, but we'll make a little progress. We'll hang out. Emily, I forgot if we actually ended up figuring out when, or if there's a specific section you want to. I think you mentioned maybe coming on for some DLC content, right? Like I said, I mean, there's a lot going on in the DLC that is worth talking about, but there's also a lot of, I mean, as we already kind of saw, there's a lot of pretty. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, sure, yeah, definitely. One moment. Yeah, Castle Canehurst, ladies and gents. Yeah, there's a lot going on that I definitely want to make sure we talk about in the DLC areas, but also there's plenty of room for us to talk about other stuff while I'm there, because I'm going to be getting killed over and over again trying to kill various roaming NPCs and bosses and so on and so forth. Yeah, okay, it was this guy that was killing me before. All right. Yeah, I don't think we settled on it. Yeah. We can talk about that later. Oh, God. Oh, I probably didn't need to heal. I think I rallied most of those hits. I am doing good damage. Maybe now's the time to go into that. I think there's like something good in the crevice down there. Maybe we'll... There's a couple good items around this area, if I recall. It's just that these annoying tick things are all over the place here, so it's like... Usually when you first get here, it's not really worth trying to spend too much effort getting all that stuff, because those things can kick your ass pretty easily. Numbing mist, cool. Where's the... Oh yeah, there's a couple more over here. Oh yeah, this feels doable. Ooh, oh, okay. I forgot about that back attack. That's tricky. Ugh, okay. There we go. Okay. One more? Or is there anybody else over here? Okay. Numbing Mist. Frenzied Cold Blood 8, not bad. Frenzied Cold Blood 9, also not bad. Okay, cool. So wait, is there anything? Cool. For anyone who's you know, just now catching up, we got to Castle Canehurst by we found a mysterious invitation that was addressed directly to us for reasons that are not clear. We went to the place indicated on the invitation, and a mysterious ghost carriage picked us up and drove us across a non-existent road to this castle. And when we got out of the carriage and looked behind us, naturally, you know, the carriage was broken down and the horses were dead, and seemed to have been that way for quite some time. So that's what that situation was. God, I hate these worms. And now we're in this castle courtyard. And outside the castle, there are these weird vampire ticks. And inside the castle are ghosts. So, you know, standard castle stuff for the most part. Okay, there we go. God, okay. There we go. Freaking worms. Oh, okay, they're just falling from the sky. It's raining worms, great. Ugh, nope, no. When they start ganging up on you, ooh, okay, no, get me out of here. That's when you starts to become a dicey situation. Okay. Any more? Where were they falling from? Ugh, okay. Yeah, it's the splatters, and also I don't know if you've noticed, but as you kill enemies, your character model becomes absolutely saturated with blood. You know, they picked a theme and they ran with it. They really ran with it. They were not shy about, you know, this is what the game is about. They really like open palm slapped the central theme of the game right on the table and right in front of you. They do not want it to be missed on you what the game is about. Okay, I think that's all there is to do out here. Let's venture inside. I think the only mention of Canehurst outside of the invitation that we had seen was one NPC mentioning that there was a kind of like forsaken sect of, you know, so we have the Healing Church, and then we have and like, you know, as far as like factions in the game, they're the one that we kind of see their work most prevalent in the world. One of the ones that we've only heard of a handful of times, I think, and have seen very little of outside of Canehurst is the Vile Bloods, who are they're not a branch of the church, so they're not exactly heretics, but they are like basically the enemies of the Healing Church, for reasons that are not totally clear. We've basically only heard their name, Vile Blood, and we know that they're from, you know, Canehurst or whatever. But you know, it seems like the church, the Healing Church, I mean, you know, we know the choir and the School of Mensis were both, you know, parts of the Healing Church, more or less, or like the upper echelons of the Healing Church. Both of those groups seem to be completely nuts. Bergenworth is now forbidden by the church, but we know that they at some point had a closer relationship, and Bergenworth is totally nuts as well. So, you know, if the Healing Church is totally more, I mean, you know, more or less cool with all these other groups, what must the Vile Bloods deal be, you know? Noble dress. Any other ghosts? I don't think so. Let's take a quick look at the noble dress. I don't want to put it on right now because I've got so much more hunting to do. It's not really hunter's garb, but a finely tailored Bordeaux dress. Worn by the nobles of the old bloodline that traces back to the forsaken castle of Canehurst. Okay. Old bloodline. Old bloodline, notably different than old blood. Not the same thing. But interesting, you know, interesting word choice nonetheless, right? Who do we have here? Ooh. Ooh, wow, okay, chunk. Hell yeah. I didn't realize these guys drop chunks. So the chunks will get us up to +9. The chunks will get us up to +9. You need a bloodstone slab, I believe, to get up to +10, which is the highest in the game, the highest weapon upgrade level. Ooh, search quotes. Bloodstone shard. Cool. Notably, there's only one slab in the main game, and they added a second one in the DLC area, the final area of the DLC. So you can have at most in a single playthrough 2 + 10 weapons, which is quite a bit stingier, I think, than most Soulsborne games, from Soft at least. One of the kind of like tougher things to deal with is like, is this the Painted World? So, you know, sort of. I guess this is kind of as close as. What's the deal here? Are we gonna duel? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna duel. I guess it sort of depends on what you like, what you're thinking of when you think of the Painted World REME, or however you pronounce it. Ooh, ow! God, that combo. Yeah. Nice try, but no. But yeah, and it is really similar. Both in some of the aesthetic, along with the fact that you have to do kind of a weird, unintuitive series of stuff to actually get here. I think the Painted World requires fewer steps, but in my mind, the Painted World is kind of like, you know, you have to know that you can go back to what is it, the Undead Asylum, and then you, oh come on, is this gonna kill me? No, okay. And then you have to find the doll, and then you have to realize what the doll is, all of which is like, unless you're reading wikis and stuff, which is how I found out. I personally never would have put those pieces together without wikis and stuff. Ooh, executioner garb. Intriguing. So, you know, similar in that respect as well. Dark and snow mostly, yeah. I guess now that I'm like really thinking about this, there are other similarities that I don't want to speak to quite yet. But once I finish this area, we can talk a little bit more. But there are other similarities as well now that I'm thinking about it. Attire worn by the band of executioners commanded by the martyr Ligarius later became the basis for all church attire, with its heavy draping of holy shawl. As the great Ligarius once said, acts of goodness are not always wise, and acts of evil are not always foolish, but regardless, we shall always strive to be good. Yep. Acts of goodness are not always wise, acts of blah, blah. Okay. We have heard of Ligarius as well, from the same source who told us about the Vile Bloods and about Castle Canehurst. God, what is that guy's name? The nerd we first encounter in the near the, or like partway to the entrance to Old Yarnum, and then again near the entrance to the Forbidden Woods. He's like he's basically a follower of Ligarius who is looking to finish off the Vile Bloods, who we've heard are still, you know, one of whom at least is still alive and well in Castle Canehurst. But it looks like this is one of, we found this on one of the bodies of the executioners, who came with Alfred. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Good recall. Yeah, Alfred is a follower of Ligarius, who wants to finish the job, basically. Foul Blood Register, and love an insanely ornate elevator, and also love a shortcut. Ooh, I have 37,000 echoes right now, so maybe it's time to head back to the dream for a moment. Vile blood rate. Yeah, let's actually. So the vile blood register is an item that is used. So there is a vile blood pact or whatever they're called in this game. Red leather record of the vile bloods loyal to the covenant of Annalise, queen of the vile bloods at Canehurst Castle. A record of the vile bloods, bloodlusting hunters who seek blood dregs of their prey, kept throughout the ages. I can't remember if this is part of the vile blood covenant or pact or whatever they're called, or if this is part of the opposing covenant. And it's like a book of vile bloods that you are hunting, essentially. It's one or the other. Yes, you are getting canceled, Emily. I swear to God, I thought I can check again. I thought I turned it off for all like.
Let the echoes become your strength.
I left like the obviously like some of the like racism
Now shut your
and
eyes.
stuff like that settings on, but I thought I turned it off for all the stuff that usually seems to trip it up in our conversations. And yet, you know, it perseveres, it persists. At some point, I feel like skill has got to start kicking in, right? I thought Kirkhammer had at least some scaling and skill, but strength is still doing it for me, it seems. All right, let's pop that kin cold blood
Farewell, good mate.
and get another level here. I think this will put me over. Oh, that's only 8,000? Oh, why did I think that was like maybe the other one I had was like kin cold blood like 12 or something. Whatever, we have enough to still get there. Nope. I think that'll do it.
Welcome home. What is it? Very well. Let me start.
Yeah, there we go. I keep expecting skill to be the better one to level at some point, but still strength. I'll probably get it up to like 50 or something, and then start leveling skill. Okay.
Farewell, may you.
What time we at? Quarter till. I remember I might call it a little bit early today, just because I remember the next section of Canehurst being kind of long. Until you get to the next shortcut, right? Visceral damage scales with skill, yeah. So, I mean, that's the other reason I kind of want to have an excuse to start putting more into skill, is because you can really do some real damage with viscerals if you have a higher skill, but it's hard to choose that over base damage, just because base damage is what I'm doing 99% of the time. But I mean, just in that last boss fight, you saw me visceral that guy twice. And if I had like 25 skill, you know, that fight might have been over a lot sooner, basically. And also, you know, in PvP, there's nothing better than a good visceral. Which it is starting to seem like maybe even playing online in the mandatory PvP sections. I mean, I spent a good chunk of time tonight before I managed to find the bell ringing woman, where I could have been invaded and I just wasn't. Yeah, so maybe it won't be an issue. Maybe it has finally been long enough that people are no longer just camping out on the Bloodborne servers, waiting for random folks to roll through, which would be nice. Well, I kind of want to get invaded once just so that we can have some footage of that. I just think it would be fun to have one instance of that on video, even though I said this before, I suck at PvP in these games, especially just in general, but especially in these games for whatever reason. So I don't imagine it will be a particularly impressive showing. That said, it would be cool just to have that. I've only played this game offline as well. So yeah, so just to you know, you can play these games in offline mode, and take even in the, you know, so-called mandatory PvP sections. Obviously you can't be invaded if you're playing offline mode. You also won't get the notes and stuff, so I would tend to recommend, if you're playing, I mean, any one of these Soulsborne games, the first time you're playing it, I would recommend playing in online mode, just because I this is also something that people have different opinions of. I personally consider seeing and reading and using other players' notes to be part of the game. The community is part of the game, in my opinion, in all of these games. So if it's your first time through, I mostly read them for fun in this playthrough, because sometimes they are a little funny, especially in these late game areas. But there's lots of stuff that you'll just, the only chance you have to find it in the first place is if you are playing online and you are reading notes. There's lots of stuff in all of these games that you just won't ever find, probably, unless you're reading notes. And even then, it can be tough, but at least you'll have something to go on. So you're gonna stream, what do they call it, stream sniping? Oh, do they? Is Bloodborne or is even that level of online behind PS Plus? That's kind of annoying. I guess that makes sense. I never thought about it though. I am a PS Plus subscriber, so even if it is, I can still be invaded. I do think it would be kind of fun. And the other thing that would make it fun is you get to see another PvP players tend to have some of the more interesting builds, just because they tend to be people who know the game inside and out, especially PvP players, you know. I mean, over, what was this, 2016? So we're like 7 years out. Anyone who's still playing this game PvP is probably the kind of sicko who has like some kind of weird build that they're gonna use, like some spell, or they're gonna be a beast boy or something. So that might also be fun. You got to get up. So if you do want to do that, you got to get up to level. I forget how the level, because it is slightly dependent on. You got to get up to level 69. Nice. To face me in honorable combat. So if you can do that by next week. Yeah, true perverts only. It really hates pervert. The word pervert. It really hates that. Automod needs to chill. Needs to just friggin' chill. I wish. I'm gonna switch. I am gonna call it here. Just this will be a slightly shorter stream than we've done in a minute. Just because I don't think we'll find another good stopping point in the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. Dishonorable combat, you probably could. You could probably get it up to. It's usually like 5 or 10 levels. That's the range, I think. So you could probably go up to 70 something if you wanna have a little edge on me. I forget how. I mean, honestly, you could just look this all up on the wiki, because they all the PvP uh, people put all their builds and stuff up on the wikis and stuff. Um, just to go off on Souls PvP stuff. Yeah, Kirby's here. Kirby's my little production assistant. Keeps things on track as much as possible. He's just here, keeping me company. What was I about to say? Oh, I was about to say, I feel like I've kind of gone off on Soulsborne PvP before. Bloodborne is one of the games that I think gets it right, which is to say, it's kind of opt-in. Through most of the game, the only times you can be invaded are when you've already summoned help, which means that for the most part, an invader is just going to be, outnumbered. Basically, my philosophy on Soulsborne invasions is that it should either be one of two things, or it should be opt-in, and or the invader should be at some like disadvantage somehow. My reason being that the invader has as much time as they could possibly want to prepare for this engagement, right? The invader, I mean, obviously they don't know exactly what they're going up against, but they know in advance that they are going to do an invasion. They can prepare a build and an item loadout and gear and all this stuff specifically for an invasion. And PvP combat is very, very different than PvE combat, in my opinion. And so the host player is probably only kitted out for the most part for PvE combat, and they might have a whole build that doesn't even account for PvE combat. In Bloodborne, this is not such a because of the nature of Bloodborne gear. There's not a whole lot of different fundamental style. There are a lot of different loadouts and a lot of different stuff, and some are better at PvE than others, but you don't get the radically different, like fundamentally different approaches to combat that you get in like a Dark Souls or something, where you could have a heavy two-handed weapon build that destroys computer enemies. But any seasoned invader is going to demolish you if you just try to swing at them with a Zweihander or something, because that parry window is wide open, and even if they're not trying to parry you, they can dodge that pretty easily because it's a big swing, and that is an invitation to an invader to roll past you and punish you. They're gonna roll past you, they're gonna attack you from behind, and they're gonna get a critical hit because that's what they're gonna do. And either way, they're going to demolish you because you have a build that is not for PvE combat. Bloodborne kind of avoids some of those possible discrepancies by every weapon is both a light weapon and a heavy weapon essentially. There aren't really that many different. I mean, there are no differences in armor in terms of like dodge speed and like run or walk speed. So a lot of that stuff kind of gets flattened out. The biggest differences are if you're up against, or if you are playing a character who has high enough arcane to do some of the higher level spellcasting stuff. That can be a pretty big difference in terms of playstyle, but that requires such a big investment that and also has its own disadvantages that it's still, I would say, not quite as big a difference as some of the differences in other games as far as you you can be merrily playing, Dark Souls and demolishing enemies, computer enemies, and an invader drops in and just like annihilates you because you're just not wielding the right weapon, essentially. And so all of that, I say all of that to say, I think in most of these games there should be some disadvantage for the invader, just because they have an advantage. They have the inherent advantage of preparation, whereas you, as the host, for the most part, do not. You're just walking around in the world and then you're invaded. Even in the mandatory PvP areas in Bloodborne, where hypothetically you don't have the advantage of having a cooperator, because those areas, you might get invaded. Your first time into this game, you might get invaded in one of those areas without knowing what you're walking into, right? And that will be a surprise, and that's going to be a big bummer in some circumstances. Once you know that is a mandatory PvP area, though, you can do some preparation to at least have like the basic. Your build might still not be what you want it to be for PvE, but you can equip poison daggers, for example, and if you really want to fuck someone up, you can just throw 20 poison daggers at them. Stuff like that, where it's just like, once it's a mandatory PvP area, you can do a little bit of that preparation. Whereas if the whole game was mandatory PvP, or PvP, that'd be a whole different ball game, right? I'm not a Dark Souls 2 hater, but I think Dark Souls 2 has the worst PvP setup, which is you can always be invaded, and in Dark Souls 2, when you die, you slowly get more hollowed. You can, and hollowing manifests as you lose a certain amount of your maximum hit points. You can lose up to hollowing style. You're fully hollowed at 50% your max. Even if you are fully hollowed, a fully unhollowed invader can invade your game. They're at their full hit points. You're just this little raisin person at half your hit points, and they've just invaded you and they destroy you. And it's just like, and that can happen at any point in the game. Outside of like a few small a few small areas, or like around. I don't think you can be invaded near can you be invaded? I think you can be invaded when you're near a bonfire, right? I forget. Anyway, again, not a Dark Souls 2 hater. I do think Dark Souls 2 has the worst PvP setup of all these games. Only happened. I played online in when I played through Dark Souls 2. I played online the whole playthrough and only got invaded once. But I did get demolished because I was, I had the exact build I just described. I had a big fuck off two-handed weapon that was great against computer enemies and sucked against this invader who I don't think he didn't parry me, but he was able to get around on me and avoid most of my attacks. And it was just really frustrating. Because the same shit doesn't work on players as it does on enemies. And it's just like, cool. But yeah, that's my spiel on PvP in these games. I don't care for it in any of these games, but I respect it. I think I respect the kind of thinking that you have to put into a game to make that work in any way. Like the sense of foreboding that you get in let's bring it back to Bloodborne. The sense of foreboding that you get going into a mandatory PvP game or area, when you've spent the whole game thinking of PvP as this sort of opt-in thing, is really great. It works in a way that I don't know how else you would get that, you would evoke that feeling, you know? So, yeah, those are my thoughts on PvP. We do have I think only one more mandatory PvP area in this game that we'll get to after a few more optional areas. So invaders, you have one more chance. You have one more chance. I'm leaving the door open. You have one more chance to get me. All right. All right. I think that's enough for tonight. Thanks everyone for dropping by and chatting with me. We'll probably continue with Castle Canehurst next week. And I was thinking about tomorrow doing I've been playing a lot of Hard Space Shipbreaker, a game that came out a little while ago. I was thinking about streaming that a little bit tomorrow. During the day at some point. I don't think I have a specific time picked out for that, but keep an eye out for that. I'll let y'all know. Yeah, it's a very I'll talk about it more tomorrow. It's a game that I had some trouble with in the beginning, but once I figured it out, it became like a really nice, chill, kind of meditative game to play. So I thought it would be good for a holiday stream. I have tomorrow off from work, so yeah, keep an eye out for that. And I think I will be back on Saturday. I forget where the rotation is. We'll probably start up with Dredge again, because I'm again so far off my rotations that I don't remember where I'm supposed to be, but probably start up with Dredge again. And yeah, I think that'll be it for tonight. All the music on the stream is by Steviosphere off the album Elevator Relaxation Tapes 1 through 4. You can find all their music on Bandcamp, and the link will be in the chat in a moment here. Yeah, have a good night. See ya.